So I'm gonna jump straight to it. The first thing you need to know before you move to Detroit is how to say what up though. Understand our lingo. We don't say what up, we say what up though. This little song, everybody in my city say what up though. But so that's the very first thing you need to know, my baby. And if you think I mean my baby in a romantic way, then I probably should do a video on the lingo that we say here in Detroit. And if you want me to do that, leave a comment below. If I get enough, I'll make sure to do that. So I'm Tegest. I'm born and raised in Detroit, grew up on the east side of Detroit, moved to the suburbs, moved to some other places, and now I'm back in Detroit. So I'm gonna give you a few things you need to know about moving to Detroit from somebody that actually currently lives in Detroit right now. So the first thing that I will get into is transportation. If you are coming here and you are used to a city where there is a lot of public transportation, you don't really need a car, it's going to be a little bit of an adjustment for you. I'm not going to say that we don't have public transportation, but what I will say is it's probably not the most reliable at this moment in time. They are doing things to make it better as well as creating more options. So for the most part, we have our bus, and then also there is the Q line that's been created. That's pretty much near like the downtown area. It doesn't go that far. It doesn't really go into like the city, like the neighborhood part of the city. And then there's another thing called the People Mover. I can't get with that name. Like, I just think we could show something more creative, but those are pretty much like the main options for public transportation. They are trying to do more about it, but also it's the Motor City. So really we like cars, and I don't know about y'all, but I love driving my car, just being able to, have my own little vibe going, control the music, not having people be all pushed up to me and everything. Like, you might sit in traffic, but I'd rather that, get my own little bit of space. So I personally don't mind it because I do like driving most places. And this is the Motor City, so make sure you come here, get you a car from one of the big three and go from there. The next thing is think about the neighborhoods and the location. So quick breakdown, Detroit, for the most part, we have the east side and the west side. There are other areas like your downtown or southwest, but for the most part, it's the east side or the west side. I personally, there's nothing wrong with either side. I feel like the east side gets a bad rep though. That's not fair, but this is from someone that's from the east side. Family stays on the east side, but either way, there's nothing wrong with it. You will hear a lot of people just say kind of which mile they're from. We have like big major mile roads. Like, I know you all heard of 8 Mile, but I kind of feel like people don't rip 8 Mile and sound like that, but especially like 6 Mile, 7 Mile. So just a little heads up on you. And I would say each little neighborhood in Detroit has its own vibe. So make sure you go there, you check it out. I know some people complain or may say, oh, the crime in Detroit is crazy. But honestly, Detroit is like any other major big city. Like, there's just going to be crime. Like, that's something that you can't avoid. And of course you are aware of something like places where it's high in crime. And so of course, do your own research and stay away from those areas. But yeah, I say go out there, check it out, and really think about, what type of vibe do you want? Do you want more of like the family scene, more of like almost like a hipster style, art style? Do you want to be close to restaurants? Really just think about your vibe and lifestyle, because there is a lot that Detroit has to offer in the different neighborhoods. Now, the next thing I'll talk about is shopping. This is another area. So one thing to remember about Detroit is this is a city that's rebuilding. And right now, our shopping is not there. If you're looking for a lot of options in terms of even grocery stores, there just aren't that many of them. I know Meyer has created, has a few in the city, as well as they created a really cool one, Rivertown, near downtown Detroit. We also have a Whole Foods, but in terms of the neighborhoods, there just aren't a lot. Like, we don't even have a Kroger's here, but it's something that everyone is aware of. And you do have people like Raphael Wright with Neighborhood Grocery, who is committed to bringing more grocery stores into the neighborhoods and providing healthier alternatives for those who stay in the area. And not to mention another point, you will notice a lot of community gardens in the city of Detroit, because they do realize that a lot of the places where you can get food from are unfortunately like Dollar Trees and stuff, which don't have healthy alternatives. So you will notice a lot of community gardens because people wanted to be able to grow their food locally and have food for the community. So I think that's really dope. Now, while we are in the phase of, getting better in that area, it's not that bad. For me, I'm a Trader Joe's girl. there's not a Trader Joe's in Detroit, so I don't mind going out to the suburbs really quick to get it. So, you know, that's an option. But then we do have cars here, we drive, so it doesn't take you that long to usually get to whatever store you want to go to. And then also our shopping is getting better. We don't have a Target, but they have discussed bringing one here, and we got a little Gucci store downtown. So, you know, we're up and coming, and the Savage Fenty for those of you who like Savage Fenty. But yeah, so it's one of those things where just know, like currently, no, it's not the best, but the city is rebuilding and they are working on it. It's something that they're trying to address. All right, the next thing to know about Detroit, the weather. It's super cool because you know what? We get all 4 seasons, and sometimes you even get it in one day. Like, it's just, where else can you go and get that? So I would just say, make sure you're prepared in your car. Have something in there for every season because you just never know what the weather may be like. And I will say, if you're gonna be near like downtown Detroit, near the river, it's gonna be a little bit cooler over there. So prepare, dress accordingly. I will say this about our winters though. I feel like our winters have gotten better. So before, it used to be a lot of snow, plus it was super cold. Now it's just cold and we have a few snowstorms, but it hasn't been that crazy because some of these kids nowadays, they've been getting snow days, all stuff. I'm just like, I don't understand why. Like, we had to go to school and then, you know, that weather, those elements back in my day, and that makes me feel really old. But yes, I think our winters aren't as bad. So I don't know how this, you know, what you want to say about global warming or, you know, whatever. But that's just my stance. But you do get all 4 seasons, and it's always great things to do. I think something that people in Detroit, you know, even myself included, we forget all that Michigan has to offer. It's truly a beautiful state. It has so many, you know, different parks and places that you can go to and do different activities. And whatever season, maybe like if you want to go skiing, or for instance, if you want to go, you know, you want to go to like the sand dunes or anything, there's so many beautiful beaches. If you want to go canoeing, it's a lot to do. And I think if you move here, make sure you check out all the different neighborhoods and visit them during the different seasons, because you will get a different vibe where, you know, it's just never the same. This next point I think is really important, and that's just the mindset that you have. Remember that when you're coming to Detroit, that this city has been through a lot, has persevered through it all. And so don't be too hard on it. Don't talk about the city too much, because we do love our city. We understand the flaws that it has, and, you know, of course, a lot of opinions are shared about what needs to be done, and eventually, you know, actions are being taken towards that. But come to the city knowing that it's getting a lot better. And then also the fact that don't talk about our city too much. Like, us Detroiters, we love our city. We may talk about it, but that's okay. It's one of those things where it's like, if you have family, now I can talk about my cousin, but you can't talk about my cousin. And if I talk about my cousin, don't laugh at the joke too hard. But no, so I hope you got that. But it's just one of those things. We do love our city. So make sure you come here. Don't be too hard on the city. Don't bash it too much, and make sure that you always show love and respect, especially to those who have always been with the city through all the highs and lows. So just make sure never to forget them, because the city wouldn't be here without them. Okay, now this next tip, this is a pro tip. If you do this, you are like, you are Detroit through and through. Go ahead and pick whichever mile you want to be from. You have to get you what's known as a pair of Cartier glasses. And in Detroit, we call it a pair of yays. Get you a pair of yays. Get you some wood, some straight backs, put some ice on them, do it. So yeah, go ahead, get you a pair. And while you're at it, I don't have a pair, so if you want to get me a pair, I really appreciate it. You know, I'm a realtor, so I can be your realtor free of charge. But those are a few things that I think you should know before moving to Detroit. Be sure to let me know in the comments what you think about this video and anything else you want to know about the city. I would love to do a video for it and get an answer for you. And if you're thinking about making a move to the Metro Detroit area, feel free to contact me. My contact information is in the description below. So last thing I'm gonna say, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to like, comment, and share this with someone you know who may like it. See you guys next time.